CP the Tool Addict. Woo! I'm in the middle of a tornado, and I thought I'd just make a video, because what better do I got to do? I can't do anything else but be in the basement. So, we got the old Matco fan flying here. It's What You Say Wednesday, too! So, you know, I definitely dig this little thing. It is really nice, and it makes it really enjoyable down here in the old man cave. So, Henry's hiding out down here. He is freaking scared. So, we're going to go over a few questions once again. And, you know, I think last week we got off topic a little bit because I went on the rant about Harbor Freight. Well, I did miss out a few questions. There was a lot of guys that were just kind of laughing and whatnot, and that's great. You know, that's what I'm here to do. So, you know, give everybody a chuckle. But so now that we're past that, let's get back on task with What You Say Wednesday. We're going to talk about a couple questions I had. Trying to think right off the top of my head. One of them was about Gearwrench versus Matco. I will tell you guys right off the bat, there's no BSing for me about that. And I'll tell you right now, Matco and Gearwrench were, you know, at one time relatively similar companies. So, you know, it's really hard for me to say, or for Matco to really say that they're not similar to Gearwrench when they really are. They developed a lot of stuff together through the KD, or through the, you know, their group or whatever they had, you know, but the Gearwrench group and whatnot, you know, whatever. You look at the ratchets that just came out with the 90 tooth, they're very similar. The head kits fit in them, you know, this and that. Matco's got to set themselves apart. They've got a task set in front of them. If you look, I wish I could be out in the garage to show you, but I need to get this video out. I have Matco magnetic spark plug sockets. They're the exact same as the Gearwrench. If you don't believe me, look them up. Look up the Gearwrench spark plug sockets. Look up the Matco. They're the same. Matco has several tools that are very similar to Gearwrench. Companies are very dynamically... They're making different product in different places, but they're also making similar product. So, I think it's probably advantageous for Matco to not really step aside and try to say that they're not like Gearwrench, because technically they were the same company at one time. So, that being said, you know, that's my thoughts and feelings about Matco and Gearwrench. I try to stray away from the products that look a lot like it. You know, I just bought the Matco ratchets. But, you know, the handles are different on the Gearwrench ratchets. The switch is different on the Gearwrench ratchets. I have not got a Gearwrench ratchet. I don't need a Gearwrench ratchet. I won't probably get a Gearwrench ratchet. A lot of guys like Gearwrench, and that's completely fine by me. When it comes right down to it at the end of the day, guys, when it comes to using your tools, I really honestly, I will razz you and give you some, you know, I'll make jokes and this and that. But quite frankly, at the end of the day, it's your money. Do what you want to with it. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, when people ask me what's my favorite tool and this and that, you know, I use what I want to use, and also I'm in a different position. So another question that I got was, you know, about starting tools as a technician and this and that. And a lot of guys like to post out there and talk about getting impact sockets to start off, and that's really great, except for you come into those situations where chrome sockets are still necessary. Not only that, there's not a lot of impact sets that cover all the sizes you need like you can buy in a chrome socket set. So be mindful of that, young technicians. When you're looking for something, you can price out an impact socket set if you're looking to get into the field and you're trying to build your set. Be mindful that a chrome socket set might work out for you. Now, let's talk about the differences of why chrome and impact, why you don't want to use chrome and impact. So, when you're using an impact socket as a normal ratcheting socket, so if you're putting it on your ratchet, it's going to be softer. So if you have a stubborn bolt that's really stubborn, the chances of you stripping it are going to be a little bit greater because that socket's going to give a little bit. Now you say, CP, well then why do people use them on impacts and why not? Well, it's because of how the impact works on the socket. It causes it to bounce back and it jars it loose. So impact sockets tend to be a little bit something that I stay away from if it's a nasty bolt. Like if I'm going to go to a bolt that's really nasty and rusty and whatnot, I'm probably going to use a chrome socket. Now, using it on an impact or whatnot, the thing about it is you can use it on an impact. You know, the biggest problem is that make sure you're wearing safety glasses, guys. If you're a young technician and somebody's telling you not to use, don't worry about it, use chrome sockets on them. I will tell you firsthand, I have had a splinter of chrome dug out of my eye, and you don't want to be in that situation. It hurts. It hurts like crazy, and it's not good. They explode when you're using them on an impact. So that them chrome sockets, you know, you get away with using them on an impact, but be mindful, wear your safety glasses, use your noggin, and, you know, not only that, when it splinters, those chrome sockets become like razor blades. So if your hand's up there, I've seen guys shred their hands before. So I just want to put that information out to these young techs. Want to give you something to think about when you're really looking to get your set started, because, you know, yes, it's expensive to buy chrome and impact, and I know that you guys are trying to save money, and I don't want you to go out and spend a lot of money. If you have to buy Harbor Freight, and I mean absolutely have to, you know, that's okay for you to get into that situation. There is a lot of other brands out there that I do believe that are better for the money than Harbor Freight. So keep that in mind too. Shop around a little bit. You always are going to come out ahead by shopping around. So, you know, that question always comes up to me, and it always is a hot topic about, you know, just things that, you know, new techs starting out and whatnot. And I know we're not getting as many new techs as we used to, and a lot of us old dogs are getting beat up by saying, you know, these old technicians are, you know, complaining about not getting into the field and this and that. I don't advocate that at all. I think you should get into the field. I think that it will be coming around, and it's going to pay more, and guys like me want to bring guys in and pay them more, pay them what they deserve for the job that they're doing. It is a tough job, and you deserve to make a decent living. You know, for me, I honestly believe a guy should make 70 to 80 grand, you know, within the first couple years of being a technician, and I think it can be a six-figure job in the long run. You know, being a technician, you shouldn't have to moonlight anymore, and honestly, that's where I feel like if you can get a guy, pay him well, and he brings people that want to work on their stuff to you at your shop or whatnot like that, then you can get that business and also help them out too. That's just my feelings on it. A lot of technicians have moonlighted for years. I did it, you know, on the side and whatnot like that. That's how you make extra money. That's kind of the go-to thing. People will always ask you, hey, can you do this for me? I got a car. You're going to find out right away when you become a technician that, you know, people, oh, you're a mechanic? Will you work on my car for me? You know, you're already working long hours anyway sometimes, so, you know, that's your choice if you want to do that. But that's just my take on that. Now, another good question that I get is, why buy off the tool trucks? And we're going to address that. And my feelings on buying on the tool trucks, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there, and people, I'm trying to be as honest and real and not be so funny this week and be real, you know, why I think that buying on the tool trucks and people that don't buy on the tool trucks have a problem. Why is there's this huge separation in that? The thing is that you don't understand that a dealer versus the company, and I've said this a couple times now, a dealer is the guy that owns his business. So that tool truck is owned by that guy. Okay, so he's more personable with you. He's going to fight for you if the company's doing something that you don't want, and vice versa. Whereas if you go buy that from a store, I'm going to tell you right now, I have had numerous amounts of problems fighting with warranties. You know, you have to run in the store, then you have to deal with paperwork and this and that. It is so much easier to deal with a tool truck guy, and I think that that's where their business really helps out a technician. It may cost you a little bit more money, but you can make payments, which is nice. It's not a finance charge when you're financing on the truck. And the other thing is, we're going to kind of talk about, let me finish up on this, but it's not a finance charge. There's a little bit of an inflation, and that's just for warranty purposes, you know, extra handling, blah, blah, blah. So buying on the tool trucks, it isn't always the best thing to do, but it isn't the worst thing you can do in your life. Being knowledgeable and knowing how to buy on the tool trucks is a huge thing, and knowing and there's a lot of good dealers out there, guys. I don't care what anybody says to you. People will complain about tool trucks and tell you that they're bad and this and that this guy's bad and blah, blah, blah. there are bad tool dealers, and they've done some bad things, but there's a lot of good ones out there, and they will help you, okay? And let's talk about credit for a second. Never get a credit account going unless you understand fully what the credit consequences are. If you get on a tool truck and you use tool truck credit, that's your fault. I'm telling you right now. You cannot blame it on Snap-on, Mac, Cornwell, Matco, because you are the person that made that decision and you didn't read the fine print. That is like any other situation out there in the entire world. Credit is your responsibility. Do not blame it on somebody else. Do not make a YouTube video and say that somebody screwed you over, because you are responsible for it. No different than if you get a credit card, you sign a car loan, you buy a house. That is your responsibility. So take responsibility for that. I'm telling you that right now. You need to understand that. If you are paying 25% interest on credit because you bought it off Snap-on, that's your fault, okay? You didn't ask questions, and you didn't understand it. And if you don't understand it, then don't do it. Stop it. So that's another little tidbit of information to anybody, any tool guy, any mechanic, anybody new. Do not buy a tool truck credit unless you understand it. Tool truck credit is a good, useful tool if you understand how to use it. If you are a young technician with no tool truck credit, you can use that credit to your advantage by building credit. Get a small account, okay? I know Snap-on does a minimum of $300. Buy $300 worth of tools, make a few payments on it, then pay it off. Do not run the credit up and then come make a video on YouTube about how Snap-on credit screwed you, because they didn't. That is the bottom line. This is a video that every technician should be listening to. Every person in the world could take this as sound advice for credit, because this is how it really is in real life. Tool truck credit is no different than credit card debt, no different than having a car loan. If you don't understand your interest rates, then you shouldn't be buying it. You can go out and buy a car and pay 15% interest. Whose fault is that? The car dealer? No. He offered it to you, you took it, okay? Dangling the carrot. That's what they call it, dangling the carrot. So, once again, guys, I appreciate you guys, as always, and I hope you enjoy this What You Say Wednesday. Definitely hope there's some things on here that help some people out, and hopefully some people understand. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe. Ring that bell. Remember, keep your hands dirty and your money clean. Thanks for watching. Oh.